Welcome to the PhoneArena.com video review of the BlackBerry Curve 8900. The 8900 is the successor to the 8300 series and keeps many of the same features. However, it is an upgrade in pretty much every way, and we really like the results. It has a large, very high resolution screen, arguably the best we've seen on a BlackBerry yet. It matches the Storm 640 by 360 resolution, and given the smaller screen size, is the most pixel-dense screen RIM has ever put out. In the middle, we of course have the familiar cluster of keys with the trackball in between. The keypad is a little bit cramped, but overall one of the better ones that we've used. It's slightly cramped because the device is much narrower than previous BlackBerries, including the old Curves as well as the 9000 Bold. It's still very easy to use, and all but those with the biggest fingers won't have any problem with it. The narrowness gives it a great in-hand feel. The device is perfectly weighted and balanced, and it's a pure pleasure to pick up. The left side of the phone has simply a convenience key. The right side has the 3.5mm jack, a volume rocker, a convenience key, and a micro USB port. The back is very simple and very reminiscent of the Storm. However, it's not brushed aluminum, but instead plastic, just made to look that way. It still has a good feel to it. At the top is a 3.2 megapixel camera with LED flash, and we're happy to report that performed much better than the Storm's 3.2 megapixel. Overall, the design is very similar to the Storm. The bezel around it is reminiscent of the Storm, and the keys up at the top, we have a lock and a mute key, are integrated into the design. This is probably the best feeling BlackBerry we've ever used, and something that we could throw in our pocket every day of the week. The new Curve runs the same 4.6 OS first seen on the BlackBerry Bold. Unlike the Bold, however, we've had no issues with it. Much like the 4.6 found on the Nextel 8350i, the transistors are nice and smooth, animations crisp, and the menu quick and snappy. We've had no lockups and no issues to speak of. This is great to see after the issues that plagued the Bold as well as the Storm. There's not a lot of whole new stuff to report here. T-Mobile's kept it very simple. We'll take a look at the improved browser, which isn't much different. We have preloaded our page here because over the edge connections things are pretty slow. If you can see here, instead of a normal pointer, we have actually a magnifying glass. We've loaded our web page, and we'll zoom in on the story. It's not quite perfect, and as you can see, some of the text does get overlapped into the picture. But overall, it's a better experience than browsers found on previous BlackBerries. It's still not as good as the Storm, but it's a step. Other included features are of course the media player. This is the same media player we found on the original Curve and the Pearl. It just has a new skin. Included applications include many IM clients such as Instant Messenger, Google Talk, ICQ, Yahoo, and Windows Live. It also has some good built-in applications such as DataViz's Docs to Go, which allows you to view PowerPoint, Word, and Excel files. Other standards are on board as well, such as the BlackBerry Maps application. Again, running over Edge, this is kind of slow. We should point out that this has Wi-Fi, which makes up for it when you're in a hotspot. However, it's much nicer to have a 3G cellular network to back you up. Overall, we really do like the 4.6 OS. However, as Palm has shown us, sometimes a clean break isn't a bad thing. We think that might be a little bit drastic for BlackBerry because they have a lot of things going for them. But at the same time, the OS is starting to feel antiquated despite the fresh makeover. We really enjoyed our time with the BlackBerry Curve 8900. It's a wonderfully built device and feels perfect in the hands. Like we said, this is definitely the best feeling BlackBerry we've ever used. The design is elegant yet modern. It fits as easily into the boardroom as it does into the classroom. We think this will be a very popular device with both the masses as well as the suits. The keyboard, like we said, may be an issue for some, but on the whole, we had no problems with it. The 3.2 megapixel performed admirably. The video recording was only so-so, but that's not really what this device is about. The screen is large, crisp, and bright, and one of the better ones on the market these days, RIM or not. The OS is quick and snappy. We had no problems with lockups, and we think overall this might be the best performing BlackBerry, at least on par with the 8350i we recently reviewed. We highly recommend this device, and we think RIM has a real winner and a worthy successor to the Curve 8300 series.